We'll be kicking off this question for our marketing head here now, Albert. Let's talk about Sir William mentioned earlier that it wasn't recognized in the Philippines, but recognized globally ba first, diba? What does that mean for the consumers here in the Philippines? Does that change the way that we look at Mega Sardines? Is that going to affect its branding now that it's endorsed by the Medical Wellness Association?
Thank you for that question. Just to take a step back, in the Philippines, are we aware that 20% of the Filipinos die out of cardio diseases? And that's because we consume a lot of meat and very few seafood. Sardines as a superfood is actually only consumed once in a week. And with this endorsement, it strengthens our mission to uplift people's lives by helping them have a better and longer life. There's another statistics that 13 Filipinos die every minute out of cardio diseases. And this is serving a bigger picture more than just telling the story of we should consume more sardines. The call to action and the step change you want to see is that hopefully more and more Filipinos would now consume our mega sardines because it's a superfood. Versus what? Versus meat. And I grew up also just like EJ in humble beginnings where chicken and beef were looked up and sardines were looked down. And that's a personal journey that I've had. And I'm glad to be in this company where that perception actually changed. So this endorsement really grounds us on how are we looking at sardines. And I was very happy with the MWA finding out that, we were just working on a wellness campaign. That, it's good to consume sardines and that it's healthy. And lo and behold, it's actually a superfood. The nutrient density is very high. None of the carbohydrates, all of the benefits. And I think it's time for the Filipinos to relook. Right? To relook into our eating habits. From once a week consumption to hopefully at least twice or three times because it's definitely better than consuming pork and meat. And if you look into Google search now, you'll see that Philippines is one of those countries that has a very high index on cardio diseases, which is different when you compare it to other countries where it's high in diabetes. So thanks to the lecture, and nothing's bad with that. But again, everything should be in moderation. So again, this superfood endorsement of MWA was also a sweet surprise to us. Even us is like, oh, we're a superfood. And we thank the medical wellness for actually telling us that we are a superfood. So we're very excited to tell this story as well to the Filipinos, and that superfoods or really good foods doesn't have to be expensive, right? So that's my answer to your question.
Thank you so much for that. And moving on to James, you did give a presentation earlier on, but just to summarize for our media friends here, give us the MWA's 6-point scientifically based criteria. You mentioned that this is the first sardine brand globally to ever get this type of recognition. So give us an idea of what the process was, how rigorous it was. Were there any difficulties in getting this information? And yes, give us a very clear understanding of the 6-point science-based criteria, please.
Okay, thank you. What the MWA does when there's an approach from a brand or from a service that is seeking the professional recognition, they form a medical panel. And there was a medical panel of 5 MDs and 1 nutritionist. So 6 people were on the panel, and they reviewed all of the data. There was an official submission made by the Medical Corporation, providing all of the, for example, all of the ingredient statements, the processing, and all that. Then there was multiple reviews of that. This took several months. And there was an entire time of question and answer. For example, there was a deep set of questions on the additives. What is put in the can of sardines after it's being processed? What's in there? The final vote to do it was 5-1. There was one dissent vote. It's impossible to get 100% of anything. I mean, we just had the elections here on Monday. Did anybody get 100%? Not even close. Not even close. This is how it is. So there can always be, that's why you have a panel. That's why you have multiple people on a panel. 5-1 is an incredible outcome. And so there was discussion, but at the end of the day, when you put all of the positive factors together, and certainly the processing of mega of the sardine, it was a very, I would say, easy decision to say, this is truly a superfood. So that's the process that we went through. The 6 elements that you're referring to is basically there's 6 positive benefits of mega sardines, and I can walk you through them very quickly. Number 1 is omega-3. Omega-3 is a major, and it's not just for heart health, it's for anti-inflammation. Inflammation is the backbone of all major disease in the world today. All cancer starts with inflammation. All heart disease starts with inflammation. So reducing inflammation is a key element of health. It has omega-3, which is an anti-inflammatory oil. Number 2, it has high nutrient density. We talked about the ANDI, the aggregate nutrient density index. It has one of the highest reported ANDIs in the world. Number 3 is it's a high source of calcium because the bones in the sardine are so soft that you're consuming them. It's a highly bioavailable form of calcium. Number 4 is it has low risk of any kind of contamination like mercury. A bigger fish in the ocean, by consuming smaller fish, can contain mercury. Because sardines are small and they do not consume other fish, there's no risk of mercury contamination in sardine. That's a huge benefit. And then, the final element is they catch the can in 12 hours, and the entire processing, the freshness that comes with mega. One thing that they do is they minimize human touch. There obviously has to be a little bit, but it's highly controlled. And basically, when you're opening a can of mega sardines, you're getting it incredibly fresh and handled in a hygienic manner. All of that for the 6 factors that the MWA said. Based upon this, we should grant this the professional recommendation and recognition, and we will label mega sardines as a superfood. And I've been in the MWA in the beginning. The only product in the world that's ever been called a superfood by the MWA is mega sardines. The only food in the world. So, last thing's a personal thing. I know that this can sometimes upset the mega team. The only problem in this whole thing is I'm still learning to love sardines. That's the problem, because I didn't know, honestly, as a medical expert and as a physiologist, I didn't know how good sardines were until I worked on this project. So now I'm forcing myself and buying mega in the Filipino stores in Dubai, where I'm buying it. My kids are already loving it. I'm getting there, but it's an acquired love, I must say. And I'm sorry to say that I didn't watch on it. I want to love it because it's so healthy. It's so healthy, I want to love it. So I'm working on the love. Lots of hugs, lots of kisses. I'm working on it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, James, for those candid answers. Very good in pasta with, cherry tomatoes.
I'm trying
So
everything.
parsley, you can elevate it. All right, let's go to Marvin. How will this superfood recognition change your plans, your growth strategy, your long-term goals, and visions?
Well, as James came in and really helped us identify mega sardines as a superfood. It really brought a lot of pride to me, to our family, and I think to our employees, and as to why we do this every day, day in and day out. The true purpose of why we're here working. It really brings pride to our 5,000 employees that we want to elevate sardines not only in the Philippines but worldwide. So it takes a lot of people to make sardines. It takes 900 fishermen, it takes 2,000 factory workers, it takes around 500 people to sell, it takes 500 merchandisers to stock the shelves. There are a lot of people working to make this available for millions of Filipinos, and knowing a lot, which is also very surprising, Jim. I didn't know that sardines pack so much nutrients. It gives us a lot of pride. It gives us a lot of purpose to do what we do moving forward and even further. So we want to just not stop at sardines, but hopefully elevate our other products.